The first time I ever saw Queen Rishon of the Asterix Dominion, she was a shimmering figure on a broadcast, a monarch wrapped in glowing armor, her pale silver hair floating in her planet's low gravity like a veil of light. She was distant, untouchable, a legend among the stars. I never imagined she would one day stand before me. Or that her hand, the hand of an alien queen, would brush against the scar on my chest and unravel a truth I'd buried years ago. But the galaxy has a strange sense of timing. It brings back the past when you least expect it. Beginning, the scar I hid, the life I left. After the Battle of the Asterix Nebula 5 years earlier, I left the military, left the noise, left the endless rotation of wars between species who barely understood each other. I survived. Yes, but survived was a polite way of saying I crawled out with wounds inside and out. One wound in particular, a jagged scar across my left chest, was the one I tried hardest to forget. Back then, during the battle, I had dragged a wounded alien soldier away from the collapsing deck of a burning dreadnought. I never learned her name. I never saw her face clearly. I only heard her voice, soft despite her pain, whisper, "Live. Human. If you live, then this sacrifice matters." Moments later, she vanished into the smoke. The explosion that followed threw me into a bulkhead and nearly tore open my chest. The scar that resulted became the mark of that day, a memory carved into my skin. I didn't want to remember, so I left everything behind. I worked cargo routes, asteroid harvesters, anything that kept me far from politics, far from war, far from anyone asking questions. But fate, or the galaxy, was not done with me. The summons from a queen. One ordinary day aboard Station Alios 9, my comm tablet buzzed with an encrypted transmission. From Asterix Imperial Palace. Subject: Request for human civilian Aaron Holt. I nearly dropped the tablet. Must be a mistake, I murmured. People like me did not receive royal summons. People like me were forgotten veterans, drifting through the galaxy unnoticed. But the message repeated the next day. Then again the next. Finally, Asterix envoys arrived personally, towering, blue-skinned soldiers with eyes like molten gold. "Human Aaron Holt," the commander said. "Her Radiance, Queen Rishon, demands your presence." Demands. So I went. The Asterix Dominion was a marvel of crystalline cities built into floating landmasses above a storm-shrouded planet. When I stepped off the shuttle, I felt gravity lighten. Asterix was a low-gravity world, where even the air shimmered faintly like a dream. I was escorted to a palace carved from living crystal, every wall glowing softly with bioluminescent veins. The soldiers stopped before a massive door. "Enter," one said. "She awaits." I swallowed, stepped inside and froze. Queen Rishon stood alone in the vast chamber. She was taller than any human woman, her form graceful, her armor shimmering like starlight. Her eyes, glowing silver, fixed on me with an intensity that pinned me in place. "You came," she said, her voice deeper and more melodic than any human's. I didn't have much choice, I replied before I could stop myself. Her lips quirked, almost amused. But when she stepped closer, I noticed something unexpected. Her hands trembled. The question she asked. "Human," she began slowly, her gaze searching my face. "Do you remember the Asterix Nebula?" A chill swept through me. "Yes," I answered. How could I forget? Her breath caught the smallest, quietest sound. She closed the distance between us until she stood only a step away. "And the scar you carry," she whispered. "Is it from that day?" My heart hammered. "How did you know about the scar?" Rishon lifted a hand slowly, reverently, as though asking permission to touch me. I didn't move. Her fingertips brushed the fabric of my shirt, gliding across my chest until they found the hardened ridge beneath. Her inhale was sharp, sudden, almost painful. It's you, she breathed. After all these years. I stared at her. What are you talking about? The Queen took a trembling step back, lifting a hand to her lips as if overwhelmed. You were the human who carried me, she said, voice cracking. Out of the fire. Out of the destruction. You saved my life. My mind reeled. That soldier? I whispered. That was you? She nodded, her silver eyes shining with something startlingly vulnerable. I was a princess then, she said. Heir to the throne. No one knew I had joined the front line. I was dying until you lifted me and ran through flames that would have killed you. I thought I lost you, I murmured. You disappeared. I survived, she whispered. Because of you. Silence stretched between us. Then she said something that shook me even more. I have searched for you since that day. The Queen's confession. You searched for me? My voice cracked. Rishon nodded slowly. When I became queen, I vowed that I would find the human who saved my life. Not because I owed a debt, but because, she hesitated, the confident queen momentarily replaced by a woman struggling with emotion. Because I could not forget you. Your face. Your voice. I didn't even know who you were, I said softly. That is what makes your act sacred to my people, she whispered. You saved someone you thought was a mere soldier. Her steps were slow, deliberate, until she stood close enough for me to see the soft luminescence of her skin. Aaron Holt, she said, my name gentle on her alien tongue, you are the reason I live. The reason Asterix has a queen. I swallowed hard. My throat felt dry. She reached toward my chest again, but this time her hand rested fully over the scar. It is the mark of fate, she murmured. 4 Asterix culture believes that those who share blood and pain in battle are forever bound. Bound? I asked slowly. Not by duty, she replied. By destiny. The assassins attack. Before I could respond, the crystalline floor trembled. Then, boom. An explosion ripped through the side of the palace. Crystal shards flew. Guards shouted. The air glowed red with emergency lights. Rishon immediately pushed me behind her. Stay close to me, she commanded. Armed intruders, armored assassins wearing obsidian black skin suits, stormed into the throne chamber. Their voices hissed through mask filters. Eliminate the queen. Rishon's wings, thin, translucent energy membranes, flared to life behind her. She launched forward with blinding speed, striking the first attacker with enough force to shatter his armor. But more poured in. One assassin fired a plasma bolt aimed straight at her chest. I didn't think, I moved. I shoved her aside. The bolt grazed my shoulder, burning like molten metal. I hit the ground, gripping the wound, teeth clenched. Aaron, she screamed, my name echoing with raw fear. Something in her snapped. The queen roared, a sound that shook the air and unleashed a surge of energy that sent the assassins flying. Guards flooded the room seconds later. The attack was over. But Queen Rishon fell to her knees beside me, hands trembling as she touched my burned shoulder. You protected me, she whispered. Again. Her voice broke completely. I cannot lose you. Not again. After the battle, the Queen's chambers. Hours later, in her private healing chamber, I sat on a crystalline bed while a warm, glowing mist knitted my burned skin. Queen Rishon dismissed all healers, refusing to let anyone else near me. She paced the room like someone holding back a storm. Finally, she stopped and faced me. Aaron Holt, she said softly, I called you here for one reason. Her eyes, luminous silver, fierce yet vulnerable, locked onto mine. I needed to know if destiny was real, she whispered. If the bond one felt that day was imagined, or if you felt it too. My voice barely came out. I don't know what I felt that day, I said. I was injured. Scared. Everything was chaos. Do you feel nothing now? she asked, not angrily, but brokenly. I stood slowly, closing the distance between us until I could feel the faint warmth radiating from her skin. I feel something, I admitted. Her breath caught. But it scares me, I said. You're a queen. And I'm just. You are the man who saved my life, she whispered fiercely. And the man I have searched for since. Her hand rose again, gently resting on my scar. The same scar that marked the day our lives first crossed. When I touched this earlier, she said softly, I knew. My soul recognized you. My heart pounded. Rishan, I whispered. Her eyes softened at the sound of her name. Say it again, she murmured. Rishan. She closed her eyes as if the word itself healed her. The ending, a new future. The queen opened her eyes, silver shimmering with emotion. I ask you this not as a queen, she said, but as the woman whose life you saved. Her hand tightened over my scar. Stay with me. Not a command. Not destiny. Just a plea. I took her hand gently. I left everything behind after the war, I whispered. I never thought I'd belong anywhere again. You belong here, she breathed. With me. I exhaled shakily. The galaxy had taken so much from me. But maybe, finally, it had given something back. I covered her hand with mine. I'll stay, I said quietly. If you'll have me. Her breath trembled. Then she leaned close, forehead touching mine, her voice a whisper of relief. I have waited 5 years to hear those words. And for the first time since the war, the scar on my chest didn't feel like a wound. It felt like a beginning. A bond. A destiny written in fire, sealed in battle, and completed by a single touch from an alien queen who never forgot the life I saved.